Hi there. Very good day to everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. Welcome to your lecture, Strategic Human Resources Management. Now, when I say human resources management, it is part of your resource in your organization, and that is connected to the survival of the organization as well. And when you learn this human resources management, you might have some idea that this human resource management is a subject that I just want to learn this and pass this. If you pass the subject and that's done, that's not the case because we have a misconception. If you don't work for the human resources management of an organization, you may think that this subject is not relevant to me in my career, in my profession. I just want to do some assignment, finish my subject off. That's a wrong concept. That is very, very important for you to be, for everyone to be a human resources manager. Let me explain this. The human resource is not only the resource of the organization, that's a resource of your family as well. Let's say people living in Canada, if both of you are the resource of your family, you go out in the morning to your workplace, you earn some money, you bring in those money to make your family move. If you are powerful enough, if you are qualified enough, if you have some capacity to earn lots of money, your family life will be easy. And you have your kids coming up, they are your resources. If you can educate those kids, if you can find them great career, great job, or great business career or an employment, they would bring the glory, they would bring the fortune to you, to your family. They may make your life easy. So managing your kid is about managing the human resources inside your family. Let me bring two examples here. Uh, One example is one of my friends, his family, his father and mother. Father was a principal, passed away. Mother was a housewife, recently passed away. They had five kids, one daughter, four boys, four sons. And out of those four sons, three of them are doctors. The daughter, as well, a doctor. And the last son, he is a management expert. He is an MBA. Now, this father and the mother, they managed those five kids to be useful to this world. They never left this world with useless kids. They managed that resource. They educated all those five kids to be doctors and to be a management expert to serve this world, and they rest in peace now. Whatever the kids do in this world will bring them some sort of benefit, some sort of happiness to them when they're living in their grave. That's the concept. And I have another example. Other my relatives, in fact, that's my cousin sister. They have one son and three daughters. The first son is in the medical faculty currently at the moment. He is in his in third or fourth year, and the daughter after him, the second kid, the first daughter, she is also in the same medical faculty with her brother, but she is in the first or second year now. And two more daughters, they are on their way to the medical faculty. I wish them all the best to be in the medical faculty. Now look at the father and the mother. The mother is a teacher, my cousin sister. Father is a doctor, veterinary surgeon. They manage this family to develop this. So they have discipline. They teach them what to learn. Okay, they arrange all of those facilities in their workplace or in at their home, the study room, the internet facilities, the classes, right? Whatever it takes to develop them, that is given by them. They manage the resources and they develop these resources to be useful to them as well as to the world. This is human resources management. Sometimes the mother might complain, saying that I have my son, 25 or 30 years of age, and I was in control of him. He used to listen to what I say. He never had any second opinion of what I say. But now, a strange woman came inside, married him, and he is not listening to me. He is not at my home to visit me. It's difficult for me to see him, to make a phone call, to speak to him relaxedly, and so on. This shortage of skill, a mother losing her son to the daughter-in-law, is because the mother doesn't know the human resources management. That's the concept. Okay, and the lady who came into the life of your son, a new lady, strange woman, she knows how to manage the guy, and she is taking him away from the mother, and she goes away with him. This is human resource management. So you cannot say HR is just for workplace if you work for the organizations as a HR manager or some of the officials in the same department. No, HR is everywhere. You got to know. If you have people around you in your family, yes, your brother, your sister, your cousins, you can develop them. You can make them as a useful resource for the world, for the family. And if you are living in a big town or village, you have people around you, your neighbors, your friends, and you can help those guys as well. This is about HR. HR is very important for every single one. You got to know what's happening. Having said that example or introduction, let me go to the subject today. Now, before we start this, the subject is about this strategic human resource management. We know what HR management is about because we all of us have worked for organizations and we know the department there. They are the people, they recruit you, they train you, they pay you, they compensate you, they retain you, they do many things. Okay. And what is the connection of this strategy? Okay. You being strategy to attract the right workforce to work for your organization, and then that workforce bring the business to the country, to the organization. That is what the strategy is about. You have a strategy to bring in great people. They bring the business for you. So let me explain this using some examples in here. The corporate strategy. What is that one? When I mean corporate strategy, corporations, we know about Apple, we know about Red Bull, we know about Air Asia, we know about McDonald's, we know many companies. We know many companies. Now, when I mean all these companies, people, they go and buy things from them. You go to Apple, you buy iPhones, you buy MacBook, you buy iPod. You go to Red Bull, you buy a can of Red Bull. You have your Red Bull in your can, Red Bull can in your hand. Sometimes if you want to fly somewhere, you take a ticket, you buy an airline's ticket. Okay, you buy this. Now the question is, to buy one phone, you have multiple options. You have many options to buy. You have Samsung, you have Micromax, you have Lava, or you have Lenovo. You have many options. But why do you want to buy iPhone? Or why do you want to buy Micromax? People are buying Micromax against Apple. People are buying Apple against Micromax. Some of you have Micromax in your hand, some of you have iPhone. Some others have Samsung. Okay, so we buy different products to fulfill the same account from different brands. Why people do this? Why people buy iPhone? Why people buy Micromax? Why people buy Samsung instead of those two? And in terms of this energy drink, there are so many other things. You have you have Boost, you have root beer. There are so many options instead of Red Bull. But why people select Red Bull? And to fly, you have so many options. You have Lufthansa, you have Emirates, you have Sri Lankan, you have Saudi Arabian, you have Fly Dubai, you have Air Asia. Why do people select different options? This is where the corporate strategy comes into play, right? Why do people buy Apple? In my understanding, we buy iPhone is because user friendly, very easy to use. All your apps they have, they're very user friendly. Within 1 or 2 clicks, you get your work done. That is one reason. The other one is the brand, powerful brand. If you have an iPhone in your hand, you people think that you are into some status. Okay, expensive brand. If you have iPhone, it gives you some brand value. You have some brand association, and you buy this iPhone. It's because the design, very neatly designed, very seductive style of fonts, and very speed. So the function, the performance is also very fast. They work all of those apps very quick. So you buy that. Okay, you pay the price for it. And some others, they buy Micromax. Why do they buy that? Micromax, why do people buy that one? It may be because you have Android, so you can do some modification of your app. It is cheaper to buy, price. So when you take these two companies, Apple promises you the status, the brand, the design, the user friendliness, whereas Micromax promise you the price. I'm cheap. You may fly Air Asia because they promise you the price. You're cheap. I'm cheap. You buy me. I take you from here to there, and I never damage your pockets. That is the promise Air Asia gives you. They never give you the promise with pleasant flight. They never say, we give you a pleasant flight. We give you food inside. We give you the reserved appropriate seat for you. Know, you have to go there and find your own seat sometimes in some destinations, some routes. They don't promise that. But if you go to Emirates, they promise this. They tell you, uh, we make your jet lag very easy. We look after you on board very comfortably. Have a pleasant flight. You have your customer service assistant, the air hostess, they wait by the door to welcome you. When you release the aircraft, they send you off and they say, we see you later, come back to us. They serve you decent, disciplined food. If you go to Lufthansa, they serve that like in a different way. They give all of this with that. They tell you the reliability. We are the #1 airlines in the world. We give you reliable flight. You are safe in the sky. You are safe on board. So they promise that. Now, when these three companies make different promises, AirAsia says, we promise you the price. Lufthansa says, we promise you the reliability. We never land halfway down. Whereas Emirates says, pleasant flight. So people, whoever they like cheap option, they go for AirAsia. Whoever they want to go for safe life, safe journey, safety, they go for Lufthansa. Whoever they want a pleasant flight, they select Emirates. So whoever they select the reliable flight, they never worry about the money. Whoever they select Air Asia because the cheap price, they don't worry about the rest of it. This is why companies in the same industry, they have different strategies to attract different set of people. The customer of Air Asia is going to be never a customer of Lufthansa. Whoever they worry about their life, they look for they want their life to be safe on board. They never become a customer of an Asian Airlines. Okay, so we have different set of customers in the same industry. So companies they offer different promises, and the promise you offer to the customer to buy them is what the strategy of the company. So the strategy of Air Asia is pricing. Our strategy to attract people to buy from us is because cheap. The strategy of Lufthansa is reliability. That is why people buy from them. The strategy of iPhone is about the brand, the brand value, the user friendliness, the design. That is what they promise. So people buy for that reason. Now, this is the strategy of company. These are the strategies. We have different examples. I have quoted 3 examples in here. So people, they buy things from these different companies in the same industry for different reasons. So if you can fulfill that reason, if you can serve that reason of the customer, that becomes the strategy of your organization. Okay, so this is what corporate strategy is about. Now my question is, what is the connection of corporate strategy to the HR? Okay, that is what I'm going to explain now. Now, before that, I have a message for you. Now, if you want to be innovative, very disciplined, very pleasing design in terms of your phone, you have to design that phone in a way, you have to build that phone in a way that is innovative. You never release any version of your phone to the market that was released by you or some other companies in the world. That is when you are innovation. Okay, let's say I'm an innovative company. I'm innovating iPhones to the market. If it is the case, I need to bring in the phone. That phone was not seen in the world before. That was not sold by any others or even by you. If you sell the same thing that you have already sold, it is not innovation. Okay, so if you want to be innovative, you got to bring in brand new features to your phone. Now the question is, how do you bring in this new, brand new, innovative phones? That is where the HR comes in. You have to have an innovative research and development of product department. Like Apple has a research and development department. They work on that department to bring in, they do researches and they develop brand new innovation or innovative options, innovative features to build their phone. So your research and development. Now, who works in that research and development? That is where people. Okay, so if your phone want to be an innovative product in the market, we need to have the research and development. They are capable of bringing in new features, new innovations to your phone. So your HR and the strategy has the very good close connection. Right? Let's say you claim that I'm the number one innovative company in the world. If you don't have the innovative team inside your organization, your phones are not going to be innovative. In that case, customers would say, you promised us that you're going to give us some innovative phone, but your phones are basic, usual. The same option that you have is available in other options, other brands as well. So you are not innovative company. So then you are lying to the customers. You cannot lie to the customer for the second time. First time, they may trust you, they buy that from you. But if you don't keep your promise, they're not going to buy it for the second time. And that's okay if they don't buy it for the second time, but they will send you, send the others the bad message about your company. They're going to say, they promised me the innovation, and there was no innovation at all, and I'm not going to buy it again. Don't buy that. This is the message they deliver to their fans, their circle, their network. So your business is gone. You lost your customer. So if you promise something to your customer, that is the promise. That is why the customers pay for. Apple promise innovation. Red Bull promises the brand, powerful brand. They spend a lot of money in developing their brand. You might know Felix Baumgartner from Sweden. He jumped from the sky 32 kilometers in the sky, and he was traveling to the world, and he landed in America. They spent a lot of money on that project. They spent over $60 billion in that project to train him, bear the cost of it. They spent a lot of money to build that brand. And you have a can of Red Bull in your hand that gives you the wings. That's what they say. It's a powerful brand. If you have V instead of Red Bull, the drink may be good, but the brand is not good. People would ask you, what energy drink is it? But if you have a Red Bull in your hand, people knows it. Okay, so that's about branding. So they promise the brand. Red Bull is not cheap compared to the other brands of your energy drinks. Red Bull is expensive. You pay for the brand. Okay, so whatever you promise the customers, that is what they want to pay for. And if you get the payment from them, you have to keep your promises. If you want to keep your promises, you need to have an expert inside your organization. They manufacture things, they manufacture services that fulfill that strategy, that option. So that is when this department is relevant to research and development. Research and development department is relevant to the iPhone's strategy. Now, if we take Air Asia promises the price. If you want to be cheap in the market, you need to have a department. We all have departments, a purchasing department. Every company has purchasing department. So the purchasing department of Air Asia should be the number one purchasing department. Sorry. They purchase things for very low price. That is when you can keep your promise to sell your ticket for cheap. So your HR department has to bring in the number one purchasing officers to negotiate the price when you purchase. Because AirAsia never sell things without purchasing it. They have to purchase aircrafts. They have to purchase the services of the airlines. They have to purchase the rental of their parking in airports. They have to purchase the price of their employees to come on board to work for them. So if you bring the cost of all these purchases down, that is when you can keep your promise, you can bring the price of your seat down. In that case, you have to have the number one purchasing department. And who brings in the purchasing department to you? That is your HR. Okay, so in every company, we have departments, right? Now, you take any company, iPhone has a research and development department. That is where all these innovative phones are coming out. They have the marketing department. They promote their products to the market. Apple has purchasing department as well. So that department purchase things for Apple iPhone. They have to purchase things to sell it again. So you do purchase. Apple has the IT department also that connects all the departments' work, and they have the quality management department. They have the accounting department. In my message, I'm delivering this one here. Every company has every department. Research and development department is common for everyone. But in my case, I'm doing lecturing. And I have my research and development department. Before the lecture, I do some research to deliver some message to my students. So I do research and I develop my message to my lectures. And you may be a marketer, you may do some research and development to improve your marketing, how to talk to people, you research and develop yourself, how to design your advertisements, so you do it. Okay, so we all have research and development department. Production, I produce assignments, I produce lecture notes, I produce website contents, I produce people. Sometimes I train people. These are all production of mine. I do marketing. I post video clips on YouTube. I post video clips on Facebook. I make some advertisements. I meet some people and I post those photos in my Facebook to promote myself as a lecturer. I do purchasing. I purchase books. I purchase internet. I purchase all these IT devices. I purchase some trainings and lectures for myself to learn from. So I'm paying money for it. I have my IT department. They help me to connect all my devices. They help me to keep all my notes on the LMS. So IT department is there as well. And I have my accounting department. I collect my money from whoever they pays me. And I have my accounting department, financial department that spends money for me as well. So every single one, every single company have all the departments. As an individual, you look into yourself as an individual. Don't you have your purchasing department? You do. You have to go over the weekends to buy for the week, or maybe you go to the market to take your groceries, the household at the end of the each month, end of the month. When you get your salary, the next day you go to your supermarket and you bring the whole purchase for the whole month. That is your purchasing department. So individuals have all the departments. The question is, out of all this, one department has to be so powerful. That is when that brings the customers to purchase. So out of these all departments, R&D is the powerful department of Apple, whereas Samsung also has the research and development department. Micromax also has the research and development department. But you would not see the research and development of Apple in Micromax. If you compare the departments, Apple's department should be or will be so powerful, so strong than the Micromax's research and development department. If that is the case, what is the problem of human resource management? Human resource management has to go to the market and find out research and development specialists, engineers to work for research and development. They have to bring in the number one research and development specialist in the labor market to the research and development department of Apple. That is when your iPhone, your MacBook will be innovative. Okay, there's a story, there's a relationship. So let me revise again. Every company, every individual have all the departments, all functions happens. If you are an individual, you do everything. You do research and development, you do production, you do marketing, you do purchasing, you do quality management, you do your accounting, IT, and so on, because you are a little small individual. So you don't need people to do that for you. You get all of these works done, but you have all the departments working. In the morning you market, in the evening you produce, in the Saturday or Sunday weekends you do purchasing. Whenever that comes, whenever the routine works, you would bring in things, departments. So to take big companies to do all of these things, we have individual set of people. That is when big departments are existing separately, independently, or collaboratively together in organizations. Now the question is, out of these all departments, which department to be powerful, that you decide. Apple have decided R&D to be the powerful department because their strategy is to be innovative. AirAsia has decided their purchasing department to be powerful so that they can be cheap in the market. Red Bull has decided their marketing department should be the number one department so that they can brand their company, they can build the brand so that they can bring in customers to buy, they can pay for the brand value. So companies, they select where to be strong. When they select that, that becomes the strategy of that company. When that is a strategy, the HR has to bring in the number one personnel for that strategic department to keep your promise. Okay, so Apple's strategic department is R&D. This is the strategic relevant department. Red Bull's strategic relevant department is marketing. Air Asia's strategic relevant department is purchase. Okay, so this is the strongest department. This is the strongest department of these companies. Strong. Okay, so HR has the challenge to go out there to bring in strongest people for those particular departments perspective. This is the connection. Okay, so strategy of a company, and the strategy of the HR has a close connection. You promise something, and then that has to be done. Do that, you have to have a relevant department that is the number one, that is the strongest department that brings out that promise to give that. Right? Now, in this lecture, I made one more point. Every department, every company has different departments, fine. But one department is the powerful department. In our case, that's research and development. Now, every department will bring in some value. Your accounting department will bring in cash. iPhone's accounting will bring in cash. iPhone's marketing department will do some sales, some promotions. iPhone's purchasing department also will do some work for that company. But the most valuable department of the company is research and development when you need iPhone. That is this message here. Every department adds value. Every function adds value to your organization. Okay, but one department will have the high leverage value, high leverage function. That is a strategic function. Okay, other functions will go like this. That will add some value, no problem. But the strategic relevant department will add value the most. Okay, so now the question is, the company you work for, you can understand the brand value of them. Otherwise, the core function, core department, Apple's R&D, like that. What is the core department of your organization? Have a study. Just when you relax, see if you are working for one restaurant, imagine what is the major part of that. If you take Domino's Pizza, their strategy department is not sales. Their strategy department is not the kitchen, the cooking, the chef. No. Their promise to the customer is 40 minutes delivery or free. They never promise you the delicious pizza. They never promise you the price. They promise you only the speed. Fast. We deliver you fast. When you're rushing to your office, if you want to have your pizza in the evening, you call them within 40 minutes, your pizza is delivered. Okay, so they promise you the speed. If you promise the speed to your customer to deliver the pizza, you call it pizza, they never say it's tasty, it is delicious, it is cheap. No, they say fast. That's the strategy of them. That is why people buy. I'm hungry, I want to leave office now. I need to have some food. So what I do, I order pizza. I never going to go to Pizza Hut because they will take me 1 hour, maybe longer, I don't know. But they say 40 minutes, I have 40 minutes. So if I can get it before 40 minutes, I can get it in my car. While I drive, I can have a bite. So that's all. In that case, I order Domino's. If you want to be that fast, what department to be strong in Domino's? That is your delivery department. That is a logistics department. Okay, so you have to have a powerful logistic department. They deliver the food within a click, within 40, 20, 30 minutes. Okay, not longer than that. Okay, so your delivery function is the key function, the core function. Every organization has the core function, and you need to have that department to be so strong, and you will have the number one people working in that department. Okay, right. So that is the key message of this subject here: the strategy of the company and the HR. What is the connection of it? Okay, HR has strong connection to the strategy of the company. Okay, now let's have an example to understand this in a different way. As I said before, some companies they promise innovation, some others they promise brand, some others they promise price. And you might see some other different companies they promise reliability. This is about Lufthansa, this is about Air Asia, this is about Red Bull, this is about Apple. Okay. Innovation is about Apple, brand is about Red Bull, price is about Air Asia, reliability is about Lufthansa. You find out some companies and the strategy. Why do you fly Emirates? Why do you eat McDonald's? Why do you use Microsoft? Find out. Why do you use Google instead of ChatGPT? Why do you use ChatGPT instead of Google? Have a look at it. Why do you use Facebook instead of Instagram? Why? Okay, different strategies. All are social media. So some others they promise you different version of Apple promise, and in fact, WhatsApp promise you certain features in the Apple in the WhatsApp applications or features, whereas Facebook has different options there, and you use both of them sometimes because you may want to use both of them for different purposes. Fine, but why? Okay, if you go to US, you have loads of other social media like Facebook, similar to that. Some of those applications you have to pay as well. Why people pay for those applications instead of this free available version of Facebook? There are reasons why. Okay, iPhone, in fact, Facebook is charging you nothing, uh, but you use it, whereas some other companies, some other competitors, they charge you a lot of money, and you pay and use it. Why? Okay, so let's see how it works. Every company has strategies, right? Right, now, look at this. This is an example to understand the key function of an organization, the bottleneck function of an organization. Bottleneck function, what is that? Key function, I told you what key function is about. Key function is about the function that makes the strategy a reality. The key function of Apple is research and development. I'm saying this over and over because you have to understand this key point initially before you go to this subject. The key function of AirAsia is widgets. Okay, right. That's the key function. And what is the bottleneck function? Right. Let me explain this to you, and that's the end of the class. Now, I'm talking about a third world country. Let's take an example of Sri Lanka. When you take Sri Lanka, the people here, they are addicted to this junk food, and they are addicted to this bad life behaviors. Okay, no exercise, too much of food, obese, and junk food as well. No healthy food. They eat street foods a lot. They are lazy to cook at home. They're becoming lazy even more these days. So obesity, junk food. So because of that, blood pressure, diabetes. These are all okay. You can live with this blood pressure for sometimes, diabetes for sometimes, but the same behavior develops some cancer, cancerous food, cancerous behaviors. Now the point is, if you have this disease, may God protect all of us from this, first and foremost. And let me explain this example to you. Now, if someone has this problem, this disease, this medical disorder, you have to go to the hospital. You have to see some doctors, oncology specialists. Okay, when you see these oncologists, okay, you may have to you have some very less options. Experts, very less experts are there. There are very few doctors that treat cancer, and you may have to wait for a couple of days or even week to get an appointment. That's number one. Because short supply of doctors, I'm talking in terms of HR management, human resource supply, labor market, doctors market, I'm talking about. How many doctors are available for this oncology treatment? So less doctors, less specialists. So you got to wait for appointments for days and weeks sometimes. When you go to the hospital, you have to wait on the queue for hours, 10, 15 hours. You go in the morning, you see the doctor in the evening sometimes. Okay. Because short supply, if you have 25 doctors available in the same hospital, you can easily get your treatment, you can easily get your consultation, get your medicine, walk off from the hospital and go and rest at home. It never happens waiting for doctors. Why? Because less supply of doctors. That's one point. The point number two, since you don't have doctors, most of people, they go out of the country for treatments. They go to India, they go to Singapore. If you can't afford, you go to the western part of the world as well. You go to US, okay, you get treatments there. Why? Because you don't have doctors. Right? Short supply of doctors in the market. That's why you go. We have heard cases they get treated in US. They got treated in Singapore. Why? Because less supply. Do you think the hospitals in Sri Lanka, they don't have the money to build a cancer treatment center? Of course they have. Okay. If you don't have the money in your own pocket, there are people in the country, they can invest in those projects to bring in the latest treatment instruments and technology. Not a problem. And do you have the market for this business? Of course, yes, you have enough patients there. So market, you have enough market, you can charge any money, people are willing to pay any money to save their life, and you have the money to invest in this infrastructure, build the building, bring the technology, everything is fine. But the question is, everything is ready, market is ready, your infrastructure, your facilities, technology, everything is ready, but where are the doctors to treat you? That's the problem. Okay, that is why people leave. In Sri Lanka, we have got only one hospital dedicated to this, that is in Maharagan. Otherwise, the other hospitals have somewhat treatment to consult a doctor, but you don't have the fully fledged services here. The reason is not because they can't afford to bring the technology. The reason is not because they don't have people to get treatment. They don't have the market. No, that's not the reason why they don't. But they don't do this because they can't afford to get a doctor very short supply. Okay, right. Now, having said this, let me come to the points. I said the key function. Okay, what's the key function? That's the function that fulfills your promises. That is the function that produces the promises to your customers. What is the bottleneck function? The bottleneck function is the function of the organization where you don't have enough labor, enough professions supplied to your key function. And that function becomes your bottleneck function. Let me explain this to you using the same example that I used. Let's say you are Durden's Hospital. You have a land now. You're going to build a building that's going to train, that's going to teach, in fact, that's going to teach, in fact, that's going to treat patients, okay, for oncology problems. So building is done, technology is done, machineries are fixed, and everything is fine, right? And your strategy is to tell the people that we're going to be the #1 oncology center in the country. If you have a problem, you got to come to us. We are the #1. This is a promise you give. So people, when they have such problem, they call Jordan's. I need to see a doctor because of this. And they tell you, okay, come and go to the doctor, and you payment, get admitted, do this test, and so on. Now, hospital is ready, everything is ready. When patients are calling them, if you don't have the doctor, who is going to meet the patient? Right? So what is your strategy? A key function is the promise that you have given to the customer, which is oncology center, #1 oncology center. That's the key function. So that is a strategic function. And you need to have the powerful doctors for that. You may have the other departments as well. You have your diabetes department, you have your gynecology department, you have your other orthopedics department. They're all fine. You have doctors. But when Durance is in the market, people perceive Durance is for oncology. If that's the case, you have to have the doctors on board. So if you promise this, if you go to the market and see the doctors, see for doctors, how many doctors are there to treat this, if you have less number of those doctors available in the market, we call the same strategic department the bottleneck department. We call the same strategic function is the bottleneck function. Okay, I hope you understood. Let me revise this again. Apple's key function is research and development. When Apple goes to the market to find the research and development experts to put them in the R&D department, if we have short supply specialists, we call the research and development of Apple bottleneck department, bottleneck function. Okay, bottleneck function. So key function is the function of your strategy department, and that same department will become bottleneck department or bottleneck function. It's because you don't have enough supply professions in that area. Okay, and what is supportive function in an organization? Apart from the key function, that is, the rest of the functions are supportive functions. Let's say if you take Apple, marketing is a supportive function. Okay, sales is a supportive function. Accounting is supportive, they support, but the key function is research and development in Apple. Right now, the next key message. When you want to set up an organization, you always decide your strategy. Okay, now, as far as I understand, Durden's hospitals in Sri Lanka, they are into heart surgery. They say we have the #1 heart department, heart, I would say, I don't know the word they use, heart center. Okay, we have the #1 heart center in the country. Okay, so if they promise that, that's fine. So if you have any blockades, if you have any heart attack or any strokes, minor stroke or heavy stroke, what you do, you immediately admit the patient to the Durden's hospital. But if the Durden's hospitals doesn't have the doctors to solve this problem, treat this patient, that hospital's heart center is the bottleneck center, because that's a promise, but they don't have people to work with. Okay, fine. Now the key message I want to say now is this: if Durden's want to promise the people that the heart center is the #1 center here, everyone has to come here for heart treatment. If they want to promise this, can the CEO make a decision straight away? I'm going to take a strategy here. I need to have the #1 heart center here and send the message across to the country, to the people, saying that we have the #1 heart center. Can he make a decision alone, or does he need to involve the HR department as well to consult as to make a decision whether can I set this strategy or not? You definitely have to. Why? Because you only know about the strategy. You think that if I have a #1 heart center, I can make money. Fine. But you don't know how many doctors are there in the market to do the services for. So you've got to definitely involve HR department in your boardroom to have a consultation. Tell the HR department, hey, wait, I'm going to set a strategy. Tell the people that I'm going to give you the #1 heart treatment here at the company. So I need #1 heart surgery. Can you bring them down here? The HR has to say yes. When they say yes, you can. When they say no, you can't. Why? Because let's say we can't bring the #1 doctors. You can't promise this to your customers. So this is the connection. Okay, let me come back to my slides that I showed you before. In this, research and development is the key function of Apple. That's absolutely fine. To set this, the HR department, in fact, the Apple has to consult the HR department and ask them that I need to bring this department, the strongest departments. I'm going to promise innovative iPhones in the market. Can you bring in the innovators in the labor market to work for this department? If the HR says yes, that is your strategy. If the HR says no, that is not your strategy. You have to look into something else where you have enough people, stuff like. Right now, again, if your research and development is the strategic function, you have to, if you want to move this department to some other country, again, you have to consult your HR department. Let's say Apple wants to go to India to manufacture their phones, to do the research and development in Indian soil. They have to consult the HR. Can I go there? Do I have enough people supplied in India? They can do this research and development for me. If the HR says yes, you can proceed. The HR says no, you can't because they can't supply the people you want. And if you don't have those people, you can't keep your promises to your customers. So your business will ultimately become bankrupt, to fail. Okay. So my final message is this: your company, any company you work for, any company you buy things from, any company you see around, they all have all the departments. But every single company has a strategic department that is the powerful department. That is what that executes the key function of the organization to keep their promises to their customers. This key function, the key department is decided by the management in consultation with the HR department. So the key function, the key department is the strategic department of the organization. In the case of Apple, that is research and development. So that is your strategy department. Meantime, we always call HR as a strategy department as well because they work together all the times. So in any company, if anybody asks you what is your strategy department, you will definitely have minimum two departments. Number one is the relevant department, search and development, the case of Apple, and the HR department as well. If you ask Lufthansa, they may say the engineering department. Why Lufthansa is promising you the reliable aircraft. So you need to have the powerful engineering and maintenance department. They are the people, they maintain your airlines. They do the services before they take off. When they land, they do all the services and get the flight ready to the next cruise. So your engineering department is the number one. That is when you can promise our flights are reliable. If that is the case, your engineering department is the key department. It is the strategy department. With that, your HR as well. If you don't have the HR strategically ready, you won't be able to bring in the people to do that work for you. Okay. So that is it from me today. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great evening.